Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the show today. This is Night Owls, and it's like I don't know, July 26th or something. No, 25th. That's right. And I hope you guys are having a good time. I hope you had yourself a good weekend, and we also hope that you guys go hit that like button and the share button. And let everybody know what we're doing. So come over here and join us. We were having a little bit of a conversation once again about the Democrats here earlier. I will make one interesting little point to you guys here in the panel, as well as those listening. Do you know when the Republican Party was founded? No,
Hmm. Go ahead. What do you got?
1854. Do you know
Yeah.
why it was founded?
To abolish slavery.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Least we
I didn't
forget.
know the exact date. I'm bad
Yeah,
with dates. Me
that's
and
okay.
dates
I'm a
just.
history guy. I'm a teacher. I get shot if I don't know the date. It's a rule. Um, but no, seriously, right? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Least we
it's
forget.
shocking to me that so many Republicans who claim to be conservative are not anti-institutional. The point of conservatism is to preserve personal liberty. Institutions often, very often, almost always, deny that by their very existence because
Yep.
they're conglomerates or collectives or what have you. Now, if you join one willingly, well, that's whatever, but a lot of these aren't willingly. Like, I think most people in America, at least I would hope, would be okay if we just got rid of the FBI. Just doesn't
Wow.
exist anymore.
How sad is that, though, dude? Come on. I mean, come on. The
And the
FBI has
CIA,
become the
all of them.
well, CIA, I get, um, because I've heard a few little stories, not so many, but because I told you what my dad used to do, right? I mean, he's kind
Yeah.
of the Pentagon has their military groups, their black op military groups, and they loan them out to all these agencies that do the wet work, right? Because these agencies usually don't do that, even though Hollywood tells you that. But
Hmm.
the point being is that CIA is always been like that. They are true black work, right? However, the FBI, I mean, come on, dude, that's sad, man.
Yeah. Well, especially since now uh, the CIA is, I don't know if they sent him, but let's be honest, they probably did. Sending agents or operatives or employees, whatever you want to call them, to harass American journalists in public, like just happened to Tucker Carlson yesterday.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So,
NSA,
yeah, that gentleman works for a company who is owned by the Central Intelligence Agency
yeah.
that
No,
was in Tucker's face.
a lot of
Now,
these.
whether they sent him or not, that should terrify every American, whether you're right, left, or indifferent, that an intelligence agency's employee would get in the face of a journalist and start calling him all kinds of names,
Yeah,
probably using his connections to find out where that journalist even was,
yeah. No, no.
since
I,
he
I,
was.
I hear you, dude. These black projects are a problem, and there's a lot of them that we don't even know the name of them, right? Because a hammer doesn't cost $850, guys. That money's being moved around. But
Shit, I want
here's
an $850 hammer. That'd be
well,
a nice hammer.
it better damn well be. But here's the thing about that. The black project groups. I'm not a big. I don't really care much about them because they are what they are, and there's not a lot you can do about it. The FBI, on the other hand, is a completely different animal, and in no way should the FBI be political, and nor should they being used politically, which they clearly are. Clearly,
Yeah,
this is beyond supposition or opinion. This is in our face reality. That's not good. Shut down the FBI, close it
yeah,
completely. I would call for a completely restructuring the government because you don't know what you're going to what nasty bits are going to float over if you just start merging or stuff. Just I'd shut it all down and rehire.
yeah.
That's what I would do. It's ridiculous, dude.
We can do that, Chester, with a national divorce. Yes.
Yeah,
Start back over.
yeah, yeah. Well, anyway, let's not go down that road until later because it'll come back up. So let's come over here and say hello to Roger. Hi, Roger. Please do share it out. And we got Comic Book Bob. Hey, Bob. Funny little fact about this year's Olympics: New Japan Pro Wrestling is outselling the Olympics in ticket sales. Of course, it is. You know why? Because you're not allowed to go to the Olympics, dude. There are no seats being filled. Everything is outselling the Olympics. And the Japanese people are so pissed off that these Olympics are even taking place that if you, I'm sure none of you watched it, but if you actually watch the opening ceremony, you can hear the sound of protesters outside because there's no one inside the building, right? Only
Yeah,
the athletes, right? So there's no one cheering, but there's literally thousands of people outside in crowds protesting the Olympics happening. You know who those people were? Japanese. Do you know how rare it is to see Japanese protest anything? My God, dude.
good, good. I hope they find their medal again. I am 100% pro a super strong, almost not totally militant, but at least more militant Japanese people. I think they've lost a lot of their strength
They have.
by demilitarizing, and they need to
Yeah.
get that back because there's going to come a time very soon where America cannot protect them anymore.
Yeah, no, and their military is pretty strong. You keep in mind
Yeah,
that
they have one of the strongest navies in the world.
they do, but there is an interesting point you kind of need to, and it gives you a little bit of understanding about the American government thinking. When America sells weapons and arms to other countries, which they do a lot, they sell UN crafted things. You know, the jet made for the UN, the guns made for the UN. These are coming out of not always, but a lot of times American manufacturers and and companies. But
Hmm.
when they sell to other countries around the world, in general, they're selling these UN packages, right?
Yeah,
But when it comes to Israel and Japan, they sell American military weapons.
good.
No, what's interesting, why is it only those two countries, right? That's interesting, dude. Because,
Um, They're our two most important allies. As much as a lot of people dislike Israel's politics and their meddling, myself included, in the affairs of the American government, if we're going to have what we have, which is a hegemony, we need allies in regions. So Israel makes sense. They actually make a lot of sense, especially with their location. It's pretty central over there in that whole region. And Japan is Japan. They can, if they want, if America wasn't there, they would be controlling huge swaths of the Pacific by themselves, and that's a good thing to have on your side. Which is why when like Trump was in office, he's like, "No, it's a good thing if we have Russia, if we're friendly with Russia." Yeah,
yeah,
that's a good
yeah,
thing.
damn
It's a
right it
very good
is.
thing.
Why not? Why shouldn't we? They are on our side. We supposedly fought this Cold War to make that happen, and then once it happened, what do? We turn our back on them? Are you
Yeah,
kidding me?
because Putin's
Roger,
mean.
yeah, right.
Putin's
I
a
know.
mean guy.
Roger, I agree. I was looking for the Olympics. I was actually planning on going to the Olympics until it basically we got canceled and we can't go. So I saved a bunch of money, I guess.
Yeah.
But I was going to go.
Geico
Huh? You can't go. No, there are
with,
no tickets, no
with
seats.
Geico. Did you save a bunch of?
Oh Jesus. That's
Like,
stupid
it's not
little
even the
thing.
I was going to go
How
to
is
the
it?
Olympics, but Geico saved me a.
Yeah, right.
How is it the Olympics if there's nobody there? That's not the Olympics. That's a scrimmage.
Yeah.
That's nothing. That doesn't mean anything.
It's weird.
The whole point of it is to build camaraderie, fellowship amongst the peoples of the world. There's no people. What are we doing?
Yeah. It's. I think the IOC pushed them because here's the thing: when you have an Olympics, the hosting city or country, depending, they don't make money off the Olympics. It's very rare that any money is made off the Olympics. But I guarantee you this: the IOC always gets theirs. They always do.
Yeah.
Right. And they make billions of dollars off the Olympics, even when it's not on. So it's just another one of these UN little corrupt groups. They're just the UN is full of them, and the IOC is one of those. And what are you going to do? But speaking of that, since we got on the topic, I might as well just jump right into it, I guess. So let me share my screen, and we'll get right into it. Because my first topic is the Olympics, actually. So here we go.
Just
Now, I have a question. We had the Olympic team, the soccer, women's soccer Olympic team. Neil, This was before the opening ceremony even. This was like Wednesday of last week or something like that. They not all of them. These three girls here stood up, but basically the whole team kneeled. And then they went on and they lost. Okay, it's been literally 40 some odd games since they lost. They've been on quite the winning streak. So it's inevitable. They're going to lose eventually anyway. It was just Sweden. But here's my question, though. Has there ever been a time in American history that we've rooted for our team to lose?
Yeah, there have been a couple different times back in different parts of the country. So what was his name? The guy who did the Black Power fist to Hitler. What was his name? Jesse something or Jesse? I can't remember.
Owens?
It wasn't Jesse
Yeah,
Owens.
Owens.
Was it Jesse Owens? I thought it was a
I
different
think
guy.
it was Jesse Owens. But
I know
regardless,
what you mean, though. Yeah.
At that point, yeah, there was a lot of people rooting against it because of racial blah 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 blah. But I don't think it's ever been a point where people who would normally be very patriotic and nationalistic have rooted against it. These were people who mostly were mostly just basically just racially aware, racially conscious, racist, if you want to use that term. I don't think it's ever been to the point where you have this much of the country. I would say the majority of the country either simply just doesn't even give a shit, or are actively hoping we lose consistently, and especially, or anybody who is doing the woke nonsense loses.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Good. We shouldn't root for the people who hate us.
I want
Screw
to
'em.
see them get stomped. I absolutely do.
I, in fact, want to watch them get hurt. That's how much I disdain
I don't
these
want to
people.
do that. But
Break a bone for me.
you do
Break a leg
realize-
for real.
They're wearing Black Lives Matter shirts.
I just noticed that too, yeah. But you know what else came out this week about them? They've been complaining they don't get paid equal as the men's. It came out they turned down being paid equal as the men.
They actually make more money. That was
they actually,
debunked like a year and a half ago, dude. They make more money than the American the
To
men's
lose.
team because the men's team lose constantly. They suck. These girls make more money overall. If the American U.S. soccer team, men's soccer team, if they were a winning team, they would make more money, but they don't. So it's all bullshit. It's all a lie. It's just a shill, and we've seen a lot of it. They're all shilling for money, just like the Black Lives Matter and all that other stuff. They're just shills. These people are corrupt. They don't have any integrity whatsoever. Integrity's been blown out. And here's the thing: this Olympics has got a bunch of transgenders, not across the board, but there's a bunch of them. And I'm telling you, the fact that they let it happen, this is going to go through, and they're going to continue doing because the IOC is part of that broke UN crap. Next Olympics, you're going to see tons of transgenders in there, and I hope so. I want to see them just flood it because these kids are not being raised with any integrity whatsoever, and for them to sit and say, yeah, well, I can act like a woman and get a gold medal. Yeah, I'll do it. There's no integrity being taught anymore, and I guarantee you this is going to flood up, and I hope it does, because I want to see it completely wipe out Title IX, without question, because until it hits rock bottom, we're not going to get any pushback and give the girls back their damn sports. I mean, what the fuck is this shit, dude?
Well, I'll be completely honest with you. I don't really give a shit if girls have sports or not. They're a waste of money.
Well, you might not want to watch it, but I care that they have it. They should be able to do sports, and they
can have it. They can have it privately. I don't want my taxpayer money funding this waste of time because they're sorry, female sports suck. They're not fun to watch. They're not athletic enough for it. They get beat. Our Olympic teams get beat by 15-year-old boys. That's a waste of our energy. We could be funding all that energy and money and resources and time into something productive for these young women instead of convincing them that they can go out there and compete. They're not a competition, maybe with each other and with teenage boys, but they're not a competition to any actual male athlete in any actual sport that takes athleticism.
Have you not watched girls sand volleyball?
I know,
very
right?
Fun to watch.
That's really fun to watch. No, I mean, for me, there is separation between my mind and my heart for sure. But I've never had a trouble with that. I think girls should be able to have their sports. Why not? I get your point, and you're not wrong mostly. But that's not the point, in my opinion. I don't care if it's good or not. That's not the point. The point is they should be able to have their sport, and there's no way you can tell me that this nonsense of letting men compete with women it should be allowed. It's complete nonsense. Do keep in mind that in America, anyway, there is no rule against women trying out for any pro sport. They could, the
Correct.
NBA, NFL, MLB, whatever. MLB, I never caught that before. But anyway, there's no rule. They can certainly compete, but they can't, so they don't. But I don't like it. I think it's bullshit. It's got to
No,
get to a point
I
that
think
they
you're
push
right
back.
insofar as that. I don't want to watch a bunch of obvious men beat up a bunch of women in a sport. That's the same problem, right? There's no competition. The competition is what I care about. This is why I prefer college football to pro football, always have, because it's more competitive. Now, technically, or not even technically, literally, the pros are obviously better. Obviously better. They're the fastest college team is slow compared to a pro team. That's just true. But I still prefer the spirit of competition, the entire aura around college football to pro football, because it has the right spirit to it, in my opinion. That being said, the main reason why I think female sports, we need to, I think honestly, the more right wing conservative people need to just sit this one out and let it happen. It's
Yeah,
because most
agree
of the
with that.
people it's happening to are the people who wanted it to happen. So let them have it.
Yeah.
Let them have it. Listen, we
that's
have
fair.
to get to the point where we're ready to make them learn. They won't listen, so now they're going to have to learn. They're going to have to learn why we have divisions between the sexes in sports. They're going to have to learn why we have divisions between the sexes in fucking chess. They're going to have to learn these things. And it's because we're not equal. Women are wonderful. I love them. I'm married to one. Great. I love them. But men are better at most things, because it takes a physical thing to do a physical thing, and men are physically more dominant when it comes to these things.
The other advantage is, this is kind of yet true and kind of not, but one of the other advantages men have is we're singularly good at focusing, whereas women are good at multitasking, right?
Correct.
And this is why men tend to be more of your virtuoso type of things are coming out of men. It's because we're really a focus-based thing. But anyway, let me see here. The chat has got opinions, so let me cover it.
Cool.
Roger says, I feel for the lady that bought 20 tickets to the event and was told she couldn't go to them. That is messed up. Well, Roger, it's the entire country. You got to understand, a couple of years ago, we had a national lottery because everybody wanted to get tickets, and everybody entered into the lottery, myself included. To get tickets to various events, you had to put in a sheet of what event you wanted to go to, and they had a lottery. And of course, the people who won the tickets because there's only a certain percentage going to Japanese. The rest, the majority, are going to be left for the foreigners to come in. So it isn't just that lady, Roger. It's the entire country had tickets. So the people who had tickets are not allowed to go. So yeah, it's unfortunate, and it's just kind of nonsense. It's like, you just cancel the damn thing. I really think they should have just did the next one. I think it's in France, and then they had China after that, I think, and then you should have just automatically dropped Japan into the next slot. Just drop them in, and we should have just kind of done a
Well, I don't understand why they couldn't just do it next year. Like, I know the Winter Olympics are supposed to be next year, but so who gives a shit? Why can't you do them both the same year?
Well, they could have.
They already had everything ready to.
But these idiots won't
Well,
let go of the
yeah.
let go of the bit, dude.
They could have easily just pushed it off till next year again. No, I don't think anybody would have lost their shit. Maybe some of the athletes would have been mad, but suck it up, Buttercup. But other than that, I think everybody would have understood. If instead of having an empty arena, nobody wants to watch that shit. Nobody. All sports, all things that have live events where, there's a crowd atmosphere and stuff that you can watch, tanked last year when it didn't make any sense because nobody had anything else to do, but because no one wants to watch an empty arena. It's weird. It's creepy watching them in an empty arena. Yeah. Pro wrestling's no exception. Football's no exception. Baseball's no exception. It's weird. It's eerie to watch them with no fans.
It's weird. He's very angsty today, Eric. Have you noticed?
Yeah. So than usual?
Yeah,
it's borderline a little bit, but
well,
he's right. It's really weird watching empty sports arenas.
It is.
Bizarre. And then I heard two of the men's volleyball guys. They were talking about couldn't even practice. Couldn't even get together and practice. I was like, what?
Yeah, no, the Japanese.
Yeah, we're off. Can't together because we can't practice.
Well,
And
see,
one of them, he was praising the U.S. government for getting him out of a quarantine hotel into a regular hotel.
yeah.
I don't even
Well-
know what's going on there.
Well, here's the problem with that, and I got to catch the chat because chat's made actually good points, and I need to cover it.
There's a lot. Go over to the chat. It's good.
Here's another article, however, that's talking about the viewership. I mean, it's the lowest for viewership since I was a kid, and I'm surprised it was that low at that time. That actually might have been the Russian boycott one.
Probably.
However, probably was. However, in regards to that, the Japanese are cautious. Everyone should know this. That's not a shocker. And you have to keep in mind that and we knew this was going to happen. All these countries and people coming from other countries, they're coming in with COVID in the droves. Droves of them are coming in. And I don't know what they're thinking, putting their people on the plane. Did you think the Japanese weren't going to test you? Did you really think that would ever happen in a million years? Of course, the Japanese are testing every single human being that gets off a plane, right? And of course, they found lots of these athletes are coming in with COVID, a lot of them, which was the nightmare fuel that Japan was worried about. One of the big things pushing to not have the Olympics at all. So yes, a lot of them are being quarantined and set off and not allowed to play. I mean, what did you think was going to happen? But yeah, I think this is talking more about the boycott year because Eric and I can attest that when we were kids, everybody watched the Olympics. Everybody
it was a
watched
major
the
thing.
Olympics. Yes, it was. We watched it in school. They turned the thing on in school, dude, when it was in the right time zone, right?
Nope,
So,
it was in Seoul that year. Would be 88, right? 33 years ago.
yeah, no, I guess it
So
would
that
be
would be
Seoul,
Seoul.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why. People just didn't want to watch it that year for
Well,
some reason.
the
What was
time
going on in
difference-
88 that people
well,
were like,
The time difference.
Huh.
It would have
had to be?
Yeah, it would have put everything out in the middle of the night, so it makes sense. But anyway, let me continue here. Let's see here. Kemp Canada says, and we buy Civil War weapons from the U.S. here in Canada. Yeah, that's probably true. But look at the clown you got in charge, dude. Is it worse than the clown we have in charge right now? Probably not. How
Well-
sad is it that frickin' Trudeau is a better president than our frickin' president? Jesus Christ, dude.
I don't know about
you know the
better.
world's going to
Better's
no,
a
the
big
world's going to
word.
shit. All right.
The world has gone to shit, but better's a big word.
It is. But Come About says U.S. is shitting the bed in the Olympics so far. Well, I wanted to mention that. That's why I put this story up first. Because, my wife and I certainly watch the Olympics. I'm an Olympic person. I've been to the Olympics before. I was involved in Olympic stuff when I was a kid because I was in fencing. And I was actually a very good fencer. Shocking. I mean, I was kind of mediocre at everything, but fencing I was good at. I still don't know why. However, so I've always been a big proponent of the Olympics. I like them. My wife and I've been watching the past couple of days here. And one thing I have noticed, even though it's a weird, eerie feeling that everything's empty, I see a lot of these other kids from other countries, they're giving their all. And do keep in mind that the vast majority of these young people, young adults that come to the Olympics, they know they'll never win a medal. They know this, right?
Yep.
But they come over for the experience. They come over to be part of this thing, and I get that. 100%. I understand that, personally. However, I see the kind of standard, hard work, effort, emotion on your sleeve. You're really trying hard. What I haven't seen is the Americans being like that. I've seen a lot
Not
of
at
talk.
all.
No, I've seen a lot of talk about politics from some of these athletes, but I haven't seen any drive. I haven't seen any emotion. I haven't seen anything. And it's like,
What about the swimmers? Because I know
swimmers-
our first gold medal was one of the swimmers.
yeah, I didn't see that one, but I did see another one, a couple others where Americans were second and third or something like that. And they were just kind of there. But then again, it's hard to tell. They got these giant horse masks on them. I literally look like horse masks.
They
Well,
don't
not
seem
only
like
that-
people have spent the last 4 years training. To be where
Well,
they're
they
at.
haven't. I guarantee you they haven't done that.
No,
Also,
they used to. They used to take pride in training to get to this point in
Yeah.
their lives,
Can you
just to
bl-
get
I mean,
there.
Yeah.
Now it's like, hey, you want to go? Come on, let's go.
politics aside, can you blame them? There's no one in the damn arenas.
Oh, no one's there to
It
watch.
has to feel like practice.
Yeah,
There's
no,
nobody
it
Yeah.
must
there.
feel like practice. That's true. Um, let's see. China and Japan are leading. U.S. is third. Well, keep in mind, China has a literal agency set up to win medals. I'm not joking about that. They literally do. They will cheat anything they got. People have often accused them of taking boys and cutting their dicks off and making them women. This is not a new thing.
Oh,
Now that transgenderism is allowed, China got a bite on that. And Japan is the hosting country. Hosting countries do tend to bolster up. Japan is never the leading medalist country, but they always do okay. Let's see. Captain Canada says the last time they lost was 15 to 15-year-old boys. Yeah, that didn't count. That wasn't official because they can't be. Jesse Owens didn't do that. Yeah, I didn't think it was Jesse Owens.
No, it was John Carlos, I think is his name. No,
Yeah.
Jesse Owens, he didn't do any of that, but regardless, I think he's one of the ones who was quoted as something to the effect of he liked Hitler or something like that. Because at the time, the West was still pretending like Hitler was okay in 1936. It wasn't
Well-
until later that
and then he won 4 gold medals, and Hitler kind of despised him after that because he was a
Yeah.
black man that won gold.
Well,
he
actually,
wasn't a fan of that.
maybe not, but Hitler did meet with Jesse Owens directly and congratulated him during the game.
Yeah, there's pictures of them together.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So well, whatever. Let's see here. The Black Power fist was that's right. Roger says, hope those girls that are taking a knee forever get crabs. Ooh, that's mean, Roger. I've never had crabs. You guys ever had crabs?
No, I can't say as I
I've
have.
never had that. I never had the
So,
crabs.
I keep Manscaped. There's no place for the crabs to
Fair
nest.
enough. Fair enough. No hair to get. They just go find your dog. Oh, that's sad. If they were paid more, they wouldn't have lost same principle as government spending. Oh, Jeff. Jesus. Girls indoor volleyball is fantastic. Actually, in those kind of sports, my wife's a huge volleyball fan. She was a volleyball kid in high school. And
me
I'd
too.
much rather watch the girl volleyball. I don't mean the beach one. I'll watch that any day. I'm talking about regular volleyball because girls volleyball is slower and therefore they actually have volleys. It's more exciting.
Yeah.
The men's, it's not as entertaining. They're just too strong. They've been overly trained, right? Let's see. Jeff says, "I want to kiss the shoes of the man who made women's beach volleyball an Olympic sport." Yes, that's fair. That's fair.
Remember when they tried to make wrestling not an Olympic sport the one year? And everybody was like, "What? It's like the first sport. What are you doing?"
I didn't see anything about the women's volleyball. Did they do something weird, or are they winning? I hope they are. Um, because I'm not actually anti-Olympic. I like the Olympics, guys. I enjoy watching. That was insulting what the U.S. soccer women's soccer team did. That was ridiculous. And they lost, and they shouldn't be losing. Hopefully they'll pull it back, I guess. But then again, I really want to see them lose.
I want to
But
see them
the
lose.
but the women's
Blow
volleyball
out a
team,
knee.
did they do well, Elrod? I hope they did. Let's see here. Jeff says, I agree. Sit it out and let them have to deal with the dangling wangles in the locker room. Oh, that's horrible. It's not Greg, it's Gertrude. And can I borrow your eyeshadow? Fair enough. Michael Lahitan says, I want steroids leagues to be a thing. Yeah, people have said that several times. Every
I
sport.
think that'd be sweet.
Anybody who wants to play juice up as much as you want, let's see what humanity is capable of. Well, fair enough. Women's mixed martial arts is one sport that they draws big money. They seem to. Now, Thundar was kind of ranting there because there are female sports I enjoy watching. Female figure skating, for instance, beach volleyball. Help me out, Eric.
The common denominator.
I was just thinking how gay that sounded when you said that.
Dude, because
beach
I
volleyball, I love swimming. I even like the swim.
Yeah, no,
Track
the
and
swimming,
field.
track and field,
All the track and field
gymnastics,
stuff I like.
gymnastics,
Yeah,
there you
gymnastics.
go.
Except that one with the baton and the ribbon. That's
Well,
Dancing.
I can't knock on that very much because that was my wife's mother's sport. So, We have to.
Oh well, then
respect
I
that.
think it's spectacular. Then.
Spectacular. No, the figure skating thing is I grew up in Rhode Island, so our ponds would freeze over and we go out and skate on the ponds, right? And so I know what it takes to skate. And watching whether it be male or female on the skates doing the things they do, it's ridiculous. It shouldn't be possible. It's an impossible thing they're doing, dude. Have you ever been on figure skates?
Yes.
Yeah, it's insanity what they're doing. So therefore,
Yeah.
I respect it. But anyway, the point being is that there are plenty of women's sports that can be entertaining, and that's not my point though. My point is that the ladies should be allowed to do their thing that they do with themselves. That's my point. And I know that what is it called? The UFC and the MMA. That's what that stuff is, right? That's what he's talking about. Um,
Yeah.
Me personally, I know it's become bigger. I understand that, and the whole Ronda Rousey nonsense that went on, but and good for them, good on them. I don't want to get in their way, but me personally, I have no interest watching women beat on each other, dude. It's actually it's actually frustrating for me to watch it because my instinct is to defend, right?
Mm.
And I don't like it. I don't like it. They can do it all they want, but I'm not going to spend money for it, and I'm not going to waste my time watching it. I don't want to see women in blood sports. I'm just not interested. It's not for me. But also, although you're right, I know they make money. Um,
Some of them do. It depends on the star power of the individual women, but that's the same with the men too. Like Conor McGregor is still a draw. He's not so much anymore, but he was. Not so much because he was great, even though he was. It was because he knew how to draw. He
yeah,
was
no,
he was
yeah,
channeling Ric Flair
yeah,
basically,
he was.
and it worked.
No, you're right, Elrod. We're no longer a three-network world. That's true. The Olympics used to be popular because it was the only choice on TV. Yeah, no, I know you're about our same age as Eric and I, Elrod, but
Or older.
or older. I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't think people watched it because it was the only choice on TV. I think people were generally patriotic and excited about it, dude. I remember very clearly all the kids in school very excited, and it wasn't just because we got to watch TV in school. It was because of the Olympics, our families being excited about it, people talking about it, people cheering for it. I remember the Winter Olympics where we beat the Russians. I remember that shit, dude. Now I don't know.
Kurt Russell coaching the team. Yeah, that was.
No. Was that? Did
The
I
actual-
see that in
the actual
highlights, or
thing.
did I see that live though, Eric? When did that take place? I'm wondering if
I
it's a
saw it
highlight.
live. It was 80, wasn't it?
I think it was. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw that because it was so much big buildup. So I get your point, Elrod, but I don't think so.
Right now, to Elrod's comment, going through the channels just yesterday and today, there's like 6 NBC stations showing different Olympic things. We only had the one station to watch it on.
Yeah,
Now
we
there's
didn't
like
get to see
6
enough.
from
That's true.
yeah. So you could see a lot more now, but I don't know how that affects the ratings. How that works out.
Well, they're also up to 33 categories of sports. Actually, it's 50
yeah.
if you count all the exhibition stuff. But categories, and each category can have up to 50 medals in it, right? Depending.
Skateboarding.
Yeah.
Skateboarding's been on the past 2 days.
The thing that's interesting with that is the half pipe it's exciting to watch. It's fun. But watching them do the park thing, it's not fun at all, dude. It's boring.
Oh, they keep every single one of them falls off.
Well, and
Every trick they do, they fail. Every trick, I was like, Jesus, how are you guys getting any points?
Right, but and I get a bunch of kids hanging out together in the park doing tricks and having fun. I get that. Sounds fun.
Yeah.
But it's just not good. It's not good viewer sport, I think. The half pipe is.
I looked it up because I was curious about Hitler and Owens. And actually, here's what he said. Right after the Olympics and he came back, Owens told a crowd, Hitler didn't snub me, it was Roosevelt who snubbed me. The president didn't even send me a telegram.
Yeah, that's true. Because he also, Elrod made the comment here, this is true. He was treated better over there than he was in America. But then again, Germany wasn't this huge slave state either. So they didn't have that perspective to begin with. We do know later on that some blacks did definitely got caught up in the entire, final solution crap that was going on. That is true. But yeah, there's no reason for it. It's just another American. Used to, and at that time, there was still a lot of money coming in from America to him. By the way, keep that in mind. So he don't want to piss him off. And let's see here. Used to just get one live, and the rest recorded early. Live TV made it watchable. Live TV made it watchable. Yeah, I agree. And weight classes. Yeah, the weight classes certainly helped. I don't know which one you're talking about. A female oil wrestling. Oh yeah. Let's go for that. I've definitely been
Hello.
involved with some of those. I worked at strip clubs quite a bit, and I've seen it. I have some good stories about oil wrestling and strippers.
Uh-oh.
Actually, I do.
Now you
We,
done it.
yeah, no, we ain't gonna talk about them here. All right, let's move on though. But the point being is, the Olympics used to be an institution, in a good way. Now it's politics as usual, I guess. Anyway, let's move on. Go ahead, dude.
Warner Brothers announces voice cast for upcoming Injustice animated film. Smallville alum Justin Hartley leads as Superman.
Now he's the dude who played Superman, right?
No,
That was Arrow.
the hell was his name? Tom something.
Oh,
Tom
yeah.
Welling plays Superman. Justin
Welling.
Hartley played Green Arrow.
Oh, okay, so the Green Arrow guy is going to be Superman. That's interesting. Now here's the thing: we have an animated series, animated film coming up of Injustice. I'm not a fan of it. Sorry, Mike. I'm not a fan of the Injustice because I hate the fact that we always have to twist Superman into something negative. However, it is an Elseworld story, I guess. It is quite popular. The comic book run was popular. The video game was very popular. So it makes sense that we're getting an Injustice animated film. I'm surprised that it's the Green Arrow guy instead of the Superman guy, but whatever. What do
It's
you
the
guys
Green
think?
Arrow guy that was on Smallville, not the head Arrow
Yeah.
series.
Yeah, no, this is
Different guy.
Smallville. Yeah, Smallville. What do
He
you
was
guys
on. He was a very popular actor on
on what?
a couple of NBC dramas
Oh, I
after Smallville.
never
Yeah.
watched that stuff. But what do you guys think about this new Injustice animated film coming?
I don't like Injustice. Just for the same
No,
reason
not
you
big.
probably don't like Injustice. I don't like Evil Superman.
No, I don't like Evil Superman either. And besides the point that Evil Superman wins, so what's the point?
Yeah. No, it's just I don't know. When I was younger, I would have liked Injustice, I guess. But now, as I've gotten older, now Superman has a role, and that role is to not be evil. Rule one of his whole life is to just not be evil. And this just, I don't know, just not interesting to me. Plus, I've grown up with it. So, like, they've done evil Superman stories,
A lot.
including Injustice, a lot
Yeah.
in the last 20, 30 years. And I'm just bored of it. It's because they're completely void and bankrupt of any actual creative ideas. So, like, hey, but listen, Superman, but he's a bad guy. Huh?
Yeah. None of
No.
your business says that he played Aquaman on Smallville. Okay, I don't.
Is that what it
I
was?
have no clue. Whatever. I think it's great. The guy's getting work. That's fine. I'm more talking about the fact that it exists than the Smallville connection. However, thank you very much. None of your business. Yeah, no, I agree, Thunder Arrow. I'm just not into it. And besides, even if you're going to take that thing where the Joker causes the death of Lois Lane, which is what kicks it off. Spoilers. But even if you go that route and he does kill Joker, why does it then go to the next step of Superman deciding he's going to kill all villains and take over the world? How do you go there?
He literally, I think every single human being on the planet of Earth would be okay with the fact he just killed the Joker.
Yeah, but
I'm sorry. I know we're supposed to be like, oh, they don't ever kill, but the Joker literally deserves it. If anybody deserves it, has ever deserved it, that man deserves it.
sure.
So I really don't think anybody would be like, oh, man, Superman's a bad guy now. No, I think most people are like, yeah, we get it. Probably shouldn't do that, but we get it.
Yeah, but that's not my point. My point being is, even if you go that way, why would the next step then be what they did in Injustice? That's my point. I mean, okay, you kill the Joker, but why now all of a sudden Superman is just going to kill everything? That doesn't make sense. It's illogical. I can get the Joker thing, and I can get doing a story about a conflicted Superman that recedes from the world. Bad things are happening, and has to be convinced to come back. I would say by Bruce Wayne, because he's the one who have to get it done, or maybe Diana. But that
Yeah.
would be your story. How do you then go and okay? Well, now he's just going to kill all bad guys and take over the world.
Well,
It
here's how
doesn't
they
make
could have done
sense.
it. Everything you just said, but as he's sitting there watching the world descend into chaos, that darkens his heart, right? Because when he recedes or back away, the world just falls to madness, and he's like, you know what? I'm coming in, and this time we're doing it this way.
Yeah, that would make more sense too. That would make
Instead
more sense
of I killed a guy, so now I'm crazy. What? You killed one guy. Like, you've killed people before, Superman. Now, granted, it wasn't quite as brutal, but you've done it. So I don't understand the issue here. Like, what's the big? It doesn't make any sense, and what it implies, and this is the worst part about it. I think this is why we both dislike it. It implies that was something that Superman was always capable of, and that just tipped the balance. And that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's utterly preposterous. That's not who that man is. He isn't capable of that.
Yeah, no, I get that. I understand that, and the fact that it's an Elseworld, it helps. He played both characters. None of your business said. Well, there you go. That's interesting. Evil Super Friends yawn. They do that every couple of years. Yeah, they do, and I'm not into it. Well, some of the superheroes actually kill, and that's fine. That's their character. But we're talking about Superman here. Evil Wonder Twins powers activate. Ooh, none of your business. Now you're talking. Now you're talking. Did you see how when they came out with that comic for them, which is all weird and woke and twisted? Did you see how I've seen something recently where I was looking for Justice League's news and information about the game they talked about or their upgrade that they're talking about doing the DC Universe Online. Did you guys know that some idiots after that comic came out decided to put Zan and Jaina together in a relationship, a sexual relationship?
Of course.
It's like,
of course, yeah.
you realize they're brother and sister, right?
Yeah,
Literally.
they do. That's probably why they did it.
Jesus Christ, man. Help me
Terrible
understand, people. Eric.
And I can't help you.
Anyway, here we go. This is news for Booster, but he decided not to be here. Go ahead, dude.
Genshin Impact, a crossover with Horizon Zero Dawn, bringing Aloy to Teyvat exclusively on PlayStation consoles. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, and this is interesting to me because I didn't play the game. Did you guys play Horizon Zero Dawn? It was a pretty popular game. You did.
Yes,
I never played it.
You didn't play it. What did you think, Zundero?
It's a good game. Probably about an 8, 7, 8.
Well, there you go. That's a really good game. Jesus. Okay.
I played it all the way through, and it's like 40 hours, so it must have been doing something right. It's one of those games that they did a lot of political marketing for, but then when you play it, the most politically charged bits about it are either one-liners or the fact that it's a very matriarchal society, the one that Aloy grows up in. But, those existed, so it's not completely without the realm of possibility.
Sure.
And I played through it, and I was waiting for this big shoe to drop, right? The big SJW thing that everybody said was in that game, and I'm like, I just don't see it, guys. I don't see it at all. It just didn't happen. And in fact, without realizing it, as they were marketing this as this big feminist victory or whatever, they literally defeated all of their own arguments when it comes to human hierarchy, because the matriarchal society live like tribals, and the patriarchal society has a kingdom and an empire. So there's that little nugget.
Well, I think the point. Okay, I get you. But at that time when this game came out, it wasn't as loud as it is now. That's fair enough, and I understood all that. That's not really the reason I didn't play it. I don't like playing narrative games. I like playing RPGs. I want to play an RPG. Now I know these days they take a narrative game and they call it an RPG, but it's not. Right? An RPG, I get to make my character. That's the reason why I didn't play it. It's the same reason I didn't play Uncharted. Same reason I didn't play Lara Croft or Tomb Raider. I just don't play narrative games. That's the
Yeah.
only reason, really. And I knew there was some wokeness to it, but at that time, I'm not surprised that it wasn't that loud because it was at that time, right?
Right.
However, this is the interesting thing. We know that the character in that game and the new one, she's actually even uglier in the second one. You know, the first one she's not attractive. Now she's straight up ugly. And then they do this. This has been documented several times by many reviewers. They intentionally are making the girls ugly. The good example with this right here, the girl they use for motion capture and maybe the voice as well. But at least the motion capture, she's very attractive girl, right? This is a very ugly girl. However, the thing that's interesting is the Japanese don't care about your shit because this is what you get, baby. hmm
Yeah.
That underboob is
Well, the
in
funny thing
charge,
is,
baby. Look at that.
in the first game, she's not pretty, but they did give her a nice, tight little body. Nice, like, you know how you like them, Chester. Nice and athletic build.
I like them
Uh,
athletic ones. Yeah.
yeah, but her face is just like, oh, what happened there, sweetheart? And they've just made it worse now, and it looks like in the sequels they've even taken away her fit body. So she's like a frumpy thing, just running around shooting things with a bow. It
Yeah,
looks
because
ridiculous.
you can't have that. And you know, to be fair, she's a warrior girl. She doesn't have to be pretty. I mean, if you want to
Yeah.
keep people's attention, make her a little bit attractive, smart, but it's not part of the character, so it doesn't matter. However, this is Japanese opinion, and I just love it. I love it. You know, we have the perfect underboob here, and we got the ass showing, and just the hint that there might be something sweet there behind that. Just the hint. That's Japan, baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. And the interesting thing with Japan is that the manga and anime art is over the top a lot of times, but it is funny to me because in reality, I told you Japanese girls don't show skin at all. They cover up 100%. But even though that they are very conservative in their dress, they know how to be sexy in their way. You know what I mean?
Yep.
This is just an attempt at completely averting the male gaze, and I never understood that. Why exactly does the male gaze need to be averted? This is the thing that's interesting to me, Eric. We keep hearing these words, diversity, inclusion, diversity, inclusion, diversity, inclusion, over and over for year after year after year, but yet they don't really understand what those words mean, do they?
I don't think hurts to them.
Yeah. Because they certainly don't want us to be diverse or included. Yeah, that's for damn sure. That's very true. But anyway, good on you, Japan. You get them. Uh, aw, whatever. Let's move on. But Genshin Impact's not a game I play. Booster loves it. He says he begs us to say he's not a weeb. But I can't lie, Eric. He is.
I can't lie.
He is. He is.
It's a good movie.
This is an interesting article.
Women's magazine Marie Claire publishes article advocating for normalizing more parents having abortions in film and television.
All right, let me clarify this before you guys give your opinion. What the Marie Claire article is talking about is that 2 years ago, 40 some odd shows, what was the number here? 43 shows in 2019 had showed abortion storylines, and only 31 in 2020. Only, and not enough, I guess. However, not only does the Mary Claire want to have more abortion stories, they wanted to stop focusing always on teenagers. They want to show adult women making that decision. And before we get into the conversation itself, of course they do it with teenagers because an adult doing it is a non interesting story. It's an adult making a decision. The conversation then becomes about the abortion only instead of a young girl trying to save her life. That's the reason why they always do it with teenagers, because it brings more people into the conversation saying, well, she's a kid, I get it, right?
Yep.
That's why. It's
Yeah.
very simple. It's simple, basic storytelling. Mary Claire, you dumbasses. Now, the greater conversation about more abortion stories, and which connects for me into all these women running around with proudly and laughing and cheering and jumping up and down with their "I had an abortion" shirts. That is a disgusting story. And if you did more stories in TV shows about women doing it, you're going to bring that conversation crashing hard on top of you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's evil. It's disgusting. And these people, I truly hope hell exists because that's where they belong. You're celebrating child murder.
You are.
I don't care about your
And it's
semantics.
unfortunate.
That's a child, or it's the pre-version of a child.
Yeah.
It's going to be a child, regardless of how you look at it, even if you think it is from conception, which I personally do.
Yeah, well, clearly
So you're
is.
celebrating child murder. I know,
It's not an
scientifically, there's no
opinion.
way to escape it. Yeah, I know.
It is.
But regardless, you're celebrating child murder.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You're
dude.
killing a child.
Now, I understand people who are put in that situation that have to make a decision, and it's a tough decision. I get it. I understand the times where a woman's health is at risk. I get it. I mean, I'm a person who feels that the fact that we can do it so safely for those instances that are necessary, that's a good thing, right? However, the fact that people are cheering it and promoting and want more of it is not a good thing. Because no matter how you get around it, even the people that have to make that tough decision, it's not a happy one because you just killed something. It's not
Mhm.
happy, even though you
Yep.
had no choice. Maybe you had no choice in the matter. I get it. I can feel compassion for you.
They
But
go so far now where a lot of states, even not even with Republican majorities, have tried to pass laws that will stop them from being able to perform abortions after a heartbeat. So once the baby has a heart that beats,
Mhm.
can't be killed by law. That's considered a person legally.
So
These people have literally went to court to get that overturned in many places.
oh no, they've made it very clear they want you to be able to abort after birth.
Yeah.
You
No,
know,
they're pure evil.
yeah.
Pure evil. Like people say, "Oh, pure evil." No, no. You don't need to contextualize it. They're evil. That's what they are. That's what they do. You don't hurt children, and they get to be called misunderstood. You're evil when you hurt children. Period. There's no gray area in harming a baby. That's evil, and that's
Yeah.
what this is. And just a case in point for a show that did this, one of these little abortion storylines that I was watching. When I still had Netflix, they had that Glow show on there. I don't know if they still do, about the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling from back in the day. And at one of the last episodes of that, the main character has an abortion. I shut it off, never watched it again. I won't be celebrating anything or engaging with anything that celebrates the murder of children. Period.
Yeah. Well, I don't. I get that. But Eric, quick question.
Sure.
What do you think about the fact that they're bemoaning the fact that there were only 31 TV shows in 2021 over the 43 of 2019 that were focusing on abortion? What's your opinion on that?
They're trying to normalize abortion as a form of.
Yeah.
Words.
You cut out there. You cut out there. Try again.
No,
Try again.
I lost my words. I couldn't remember what I was saying.
Contraceptive, I think was the word you were looking for.
Yeah, exactly. And they're trying to use it as a form of contraceptive. It is not. It should never be used that way.
Yeah.
They want people to think there's no, don't have to have any responsibility, and it's sickening.
It is,
Yes.
and the argument that they make is basically fuck you. I'll do what I want. That's the
Yeah.
argument, right? Because no matter how you look at it, whether you're like a person like me who understands there are circumstances that medical treatment is needed. There are circumstances there are, and the fact that it's a good thing, right? Those things are very disparate in my opinion, because I have known girls who have got abortions, and it was the toughest thing they've ever done. And I don't necessarily agree with them why they did it, because they did use it in a way as a contraceptive, although they were young, too young, honestly. And in one case, the father was like 20 years senior her. However, those girls were absolutely wrecked by it, and
Good.
as it should be, right? I mean, because
Yeah.
you are, no matter how you cut it, you're taking a life.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand. I just don't understand this celebration and joy of it. And Mary Clary is dumb. I mean, how who's writing these articles for you that doesn't get why they're doing it? Because if they don't do this, if they don't have it a teenage girl making the tough decision, then they're going to get hammered. This is so dumb, Mary Claire. Whatever.
They're just going to make our argument for us,
Yeah.
but they're too stupid to realize it. It's Frankenstein, man. The left has Frankenstein syndrome right now, real bad. They are creating the monster that will destroy them, and they're going to do it with this. They're going to show older ladies doing this thing, taking away all of the emotional attachment and all the excuses of, oh,
Right.
well, she's young, she's
Yeah.
got this, maybe she was raped by her, it was a like you said, 20-year different relationship
Yeah.
or
That
whatever,
was bad.
all that stuff. You take all that away when you do it with an adult woman, because now she doesn't have those excuses anymore, so she's just being selfish.
Yeah.
Most likely. And I would go one step further than you, Chester. I don't even think when the mother's life's in danger it should be allowed.
No, I get that.
I
understand that.
I divert to Dr. Ron Paul on this. He did that for 30 years. That's what he was. And he said in his 30 years he never once had to do an abortion. Never. 30 years delivering babies every day. Never once had to do it. So I don't think I think it's extremely rare with modern technology that ever is the case.
Maybe.
Extremely rare. I think what happens, honestly, if I'm going to be completely cynical, that some of these doctors are in league with some of these places where they sell baby parts. You're in danger, so we need to take your baby. Bam, they sell it, make all kinds of money. That's what I think happens.
Yeah, that is disgusting as well. Yeah, no. This is not a good thing, but it's not going anywhere. You know who one of the best arguers for your thinking is Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
Now, of course, don't get into debate with Ben Shapiro. This should be clear by now. However,
I could beat him.
Maybe, but don't get in an argument with Ben Shapiro about abortion, because he is locked and loaded, baby.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on. I just thought it's stupid, dude. Anyway, here we go. No, this is going to be interesting.
The 11 best Marvel Cinematic Universe movies according to IMDb user scores. Now, the problem with this, and I don't know if they mentioned it, I haven't seen the article, but they have been known, even IMDb, to troll, quote unquote, I'm air quoting, do you hear them?
Yes, I hear them.
User scores when things get review bombed because of their politics or because they're just shit. And they pretend that these were obviously bots, so they gotta go.
Yeah, no, I don't like any of that nonsense. I agree. However, let's take a look at the 11. I don't know why it's 11. Let's take a look at the 11 and to see if we agree. And I didn't read the article anyway. That's not the point.
Number one's going to be Black Panther. Watch.
There we go. Spider-Man: Far From Home.
I never saw it, so I wouldn't know.
I haven't seen it either.
It was okay. It was okay. It wasn't.
Is it just top 11?
Okay.
Yeah, there's some pretty shitty
24
movies.
There's like 24.
No, I don't think it's top 11.
No. Okay.
Eesh.
I didn't watch it,
That's
so
not good.
I don't know. It's just he's not an interesting Spider-Man for me. But there's no political reason why. I just didn't care.
I think he could be.
Mysterio is pretty cool in it. I'll give it that. Mysterio in it, because you're not really going to see him as a villain you would think on the big screen, but they pulled it off pretty good.
He's a good
Gyllenhaal's
actor.
great.
He's a good actor.
Yeah, he's a great actor.
So I don't know. I can't give an opinion. All right. So
I still say
like
Tom Holland could be spectacular Peter Parker and Spider-Man, but Marvel is giving him a discount. He is Peter Parker being a discount Peter Parker in Miles Morales, who was a discount Spider-Man to begin with.
Right.
Like, what happened here?
Well, he's an Iron Man sycophant, which is not anything Peter would do. It's quite the opposite of what Peter would do. Peter would often push against these supposed organizations and leagues and things like that. But whatever, that's a bonus anyway. So let's go down to the real top 10. Doctor Strange.
Top 10 for Doctor Strange. I'd have to watch it again. I I didn't dislike Doctor Strange. My wife didn't like it. I think the problem with Doctor Strange is they went so physical with the magic.
Yeah, my
And
son
it doesn't
complained about
feel
that.
magical. It feels like a martial arts
Yeah.
movie
Feels
instead of
like
a magic
Avatar.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a better Avatar
I could see
movie.
that. I watched it again just last week, I think.
Yeah.
Tell you what I love about Doctor Strange is the special effects, the colors, and all that.
Yeah.
And Benedict Cumberbatch is what I love about it most.
Yeah, he's really good.
And this is definitely in my top 10. I enjoyed Doctor Strange quite a bit. Although I understand my son's argument. He really didn't understand the physicality. He was like, "Where's his purple blasters?" Because I read the kids' Doctor Strange books, and they saw the animated stuff as well. But mainly they get out of the comics. But it's in my top 10 though. So okay, personally.
And where's his in that besides summoning the little light show things that he does, the weapons he uses, the little disc things on his hands, where's the magic? Most of the stuff he does with gadgets. I mean, they're magical gadgets, I guess, but where's his magic? Where's his spells? He's a sorcerer supreme, for Christ's sake.
Well, they had to dumb him down ridiculously in order to make him work in the story they want to tell. Doctor Strange, let's be fair, he is a plot device. I mean, that's what Strange is. I mean,
he shouldn't have got his own movie, in all honesty. They should have left him as what they basically turned Iron Man into near the end there. He's in other people's movies, and he just shows up when they need something to happen because he's a sorcerer supreme, so it happens.
Yeah. But I did enjoy the movie personally, though. So
I did too.
Moving on. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Top 10?
Easy.
Both of them in my top 10.
Yeah, both of them are in my top 10. Yeah, for sure.
See, I know a lot of people who think that was the best MCU movie, the second one specifically.
Oh, no.
And I'm like,
it's not.
No. It has some of the best moments, yes, but it's not the best movie.
It's
just
fun.
not.
Kurt Russell.
It's got Kurt Russell.
Kurt
it's
Russell's
funny.
pretty good.
It's heartwarming. It's Back to the Future style storytelling, and that's never a bad thing.
I think the thing that makes me not angry, but annoys me about this movie is he had the power of a god and he just gave it up.
Yeah, I hate that when they do that. Like when they finally get to the end of the temple and then it crumbles because the enemy's been defeated. I hate that shit too. Yeah. That's one thing I loved about the National Treasure 2. They didn't do that. I like that.
Yes.
Yeah. But this definitely,
especially considering, I'm not just saying not even necessarily as a trope, just in the context of the overall story that's happening. He knows about Thanos. They all know at this point, they all know something's coming. Something's happening.
Yeah.
You're right.
So why would you give up that much power just to own your dad? I don't know. Maybe I'm being too hard on it.
Right.
But
There's not that bright any.
That's true, and it's also that the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, to be fair, are a little more standalone than the rest, right?
It's true.
Because one thing that Marvel didn't do was bite completely into that cosmic apple. They didn't. They kind of kept it on the back burner a little bit.
Which is probably a good thing because Marvel's cosmic stuff is kind of weak.
It can be,
in my opinion.
That's true.
So
DC's better. Yeah. But this is in everybody's top 10, though. I would assume. Yep.
I'd say that's fair.
10. It's not number 1.
Yeah.
It's top 10. Let's see. Number 8. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Dude.
Come on, of course. Here's the problem with this, though. Like I was saying, some of the stuff gets purged, but here's the real problem. Winter Soldier came out before the MCU became the MCU. Like it was, yes, it existed, yes, it was happening, but it was a much smaller franchise at the time.
Yeah.
It wasn't until later that it became this monster. So I think that is skewing these heavily. So the older ones, or the ones that don't have as much nostalgia, because as much as I love Winter Soldier, once you've watched it, you're good. Because it doesn't really tie in too heavily to the main plot threads going forward. So you could literally just take that movie out, do a 10-minute introduction of Bucky if you're going to have him in at all, and there you go. Yeah. Like, there's no grand connection to the Thanos story, which is what they were building to at this point, in this that I remember. If there is, I just don't remember it, which is, again, maybe it didn't matter. So I think that's going to be a big problem. See, they made the big shared universe, the MCU, which was great. I don't think anybody expected them to pull it off back in the day, but they did.
They did.
But some of the better films, like this one, were better just as films. Like, this could have just been a Captain America Winter Soldier, the movie, period. No MCU ties at all, and it would have still been a great movie.
Yeah, yeah. And this is IMDb, so your point is valid. What do you think about this 8 spot for Winter Soldier, Eric?
Be back real quick.
I honestly, I think I'd put it up higher because I really enjoyed this one as a spy movie, and having Robert Redford in there was a
Yeah, it was cool.
old
wasn't it?
choice.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
not.
I like the Black Widow even better in this one than any of the other ones I've seen her in.
Yep. Now I like.
I really
Captain
enjoyed
America
this
better.
one.
But I would say this is probably the top 3 of the movies they've made, though. But it was a good movie. I enjoyed it too. I don't know what it was. It's just the first one really. I love that movie, dude. But anyway, it definitely deserves to be in the top 10. 8 is a bit low, I think. However, let's keep going. See, I don't know about that one being in the top 10. I wouldn't put this in my top 10. Would you? Are you there?
Yeah, I would. I'd put it in the top 10.
It would be close, but this is my least favorite of the Captain America movies. It's not really a Captain America movie anyway. It's more of another pseudo Avengers movie, is what it is. But I wouldn't put it in my top 10. I wouldn't put it in my top 10.
Would put it higher than the first Avengers movie. This one better than the first Avengers movie with the Chitauri attacking New York.
Well, the Chitauri movie, I get the point you're making, but that put the Avengers together for the first time, and it had such a big impact. I think it's more important of a movie than this one. Yeah.
Civil War. Let's see. What number is it? 7?
It's 7. Yeah, it shouldn't be high above Winter Soldier anyway.
Oh, definitely not. I think the problem with Civil War isn't so much the movie. The problem with Civil War is that it happened at all as a Captain America movie and right in the middle of the MCU. They could have turned the Civil War storyline into its whole own branch, the MCU, for a while.
Disney Plus, right, is where it should have been put. Yeah.
And instead, it got shoved into one movie and never really paid off. Because when we get to Endgame, or we get to Infinity War, they don't interact. Tony and Cap don't interact really at all. I don't think they interact once in that movie. And when we get to Endgame, they argue for a minute, and then it's just over. There's no big,
At first, they're happy to see Tony gets off the ship. Then they argue after Tony's got a little bit better. Then he passes out. That's it.
Yeah. So I wouldn't put this movie into my top 10 at all. But whatever. All right. Let's move on here. Oh, fuck no.
I gotta say, I like Ragnarok just as a movie, not so much a Thor movie. With the Hulk, I enjoyed it.
I didn't.
I don't know if it's top 10 though. I'd have to actually list everything out, see if it actually a top 10. I don't know if it.
Yeah, I don't like this movie. It's one of my lowest Marvel movies, to be sure. It's just bullshit, stupid. They made so many dumb decisions. The biggest one being that they made the villain the good guy. What are you doing? I can't get past it.
Yeah,
she had Doctor Strange.
What was that?
Introduced Doctor Strange again too. So he was just a little bit character in this one for like 5 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that was cool. But I can't. Yeah, no, I can't even, dude.
I think that this movie. You know me, I love Thor. This movie was not a Thor movie.
No.
This movie was. I don't even know. It was basically a buddy cop movie. But here's the problem I have with Ragnarok. You take out 20% of the humor. Just right off the top, cut it off 20%. You have a joke that's in here that doesn't need to be in here, just get that out of here. And make that same movie, and instead of having 20% of that humor, make it more serious beats, and it's a way better film. Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
The fact was that Taika Waititi and Mr. Hemsworth, see, somebody convinced Chris that he's hilarious. A bunch of women, I would assume, that he's just, he's so funny, he's so witty. And he's not that funny. He's okay, but he's not that funny. He's a very good-looking man, so of course women laugh at him because he's a very good-looking man.
Oh yeah, no,
he's not that funny. So when he's doing these beats, like the very opening thing with him and Surtur, and he's hanging from the chain, that goes on for at least 5 seconds too long, where he's spinning around in the circle, and they're doing a little bit like he's trying to talk to him, but he keeps spinning around. And
Right.
It's okay. That could have been pretty good, but it goes too long. That's this whole movie. That's the problem with the humor. It goes too long. There's too much of it.
Yeah.
You're giving me way too much, and then you can get into the characters and the problems with each one of the characters if you want. But I think just as a baseline, the balance of the movie, the balance of the film is way off because it's trying to be an action movie, it's trying to be a funny movie, it's trying to be a buddy cop movie, it's trying to have this real strong emotional stuff with the death of Odin and all this stuff.
Yeah, that totally didn't play at all. It didn't work.
It just doesn't work.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. I don't like any of the Thor movies, which is sad because I love Thor. And if I try to understand the problem with the writing is disjointed, I think. And I think I don't want it to be true, but I feel that it's Chris Hemsworth. He's a good co-star. He's a good guy to have in the background. He works in that way, but he's not strong enough to be the man.
The two best Thor movies are Age of Ultron and Infinity War.
Yeah,
and it's not even
that's
close.
right, and it doesn't, and it's not his own flick. That's my opinion. Do you have any opinions on the Thor stuff, Eric?
I just don't think they understand the character very well.
No, that's true.
Ragnarok here, they tried to be another Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
It's funny from beginning to end.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what they're looking for. And
Yeah.
even though I enjoyed it, a Thor movie should be a little more serious. I guess what I miss, I always liked about the comics was the vow and all that stuff, the seriousness of the comic with Thor in it. And that's what's been missing from them.
Yeah. Because, when they did the first one, they tried to play on the fact that he was arrogant, drunk, and et cetera, which is what Thor was.
Yes.
And that he had to have a arc to become a man. Okay, fine. But they didn't do it. They didn't do that. They just kind of said, oh, this is that. And then all of a sudden he wasn't that. It's like, what? They didn't tell the story.
And then the next movie, he's right back to that same attitude.
Yeah.
And then in Ragnarok, he's unsure of himself about becoming the king and taking his dad's place. And then in Endgame, they just completely cuck him out to a woman and make him a fatty. So I don't know.
It's bad, dude. It's bad.
He's not Thor. Like, I don't care what they call him, but the Thor, whether mythologically or in Marvel, would do none of those things. It's just not how he behaves.
He's the most powerful male he needs to be dealt with. And that's just what it comes down to.
I will say this, in Ragnarok, besides Infinity War, up to that point, that was him at his most powerful that we saw on screen. He beats Hulk 1v1. He frickin' summons down these huge lightning bolts and stuff, and he takes out that whole army by himself. That's pretty awesome. And the iconography of that movie is fantastic. The part where he flies in, there's lightning coming all off of him, and he's going right into the army. That's awesome.
Cinematography, yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that is true. But the characters. This is not top 10. But no, whatever. Okay, let's move on here. Iron Man is only 5.
Loved it, the first Iron Man movie.
That's what kicked it off, dude.
Yeah, I can watch that today and not find a lot of fault with it.
It is good. It's a good movie, just period.
They took his origin and updated it to a modern origin without fucking it up.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They did. And Robert Downey Jr. was the perfect choice. This dude playing Stain was the perfect choice. I prefer this War Machine over the new one. And Pepper was in charge, baby. I like the movie.
A strong female character who wasn't a total bitch. Huh.
Yeah.
Huh. You can almost somehow do that in Hollywood. I didn't know.
Well, give him a couple movies.
She started selling candles.
That shit, dude. Oh, that girl is out of her mind, insane, absolute slut.
But she's pretty.
She is pretty, but she's broken. She's bad broken, dude. But whatever. This is certainly top 10. I would put it a little higher than this, but it's in the top 10 as it should be. And let's see, Guardians of the Galaxy. We already talked about it. It should be in the top 10. The Avengers. Here we go.
Yeah. I even think that spot's probably correct. The first Avengers movie was maybe the most important comic book movie ever made. It was the first one that proved an ensemble cast can work, and it made a ton of money. And it's the thing that made the MCU kind of it's staying. It's not going anywhere. Now, when you go back and watch it, it's not that good of a movie. It's not. It's too Whedon-ish. Way too much Joshism in that movie.
It is.
But as far as the impact of the first Avengers movie, it can't be understated. I would put it number 3 just for that alone.
Yeah, I agree. Eric?
You know what I say about the fucking Avengers? Let me tell you something, huh? I just woke up from a drunken rage and I just thought, fuck Joss Whedon just came across my mind. Because the Avengers is everything wrong with the MCU today. It is unwatchable.
It's pretty bad now.
Wow.
Yeah, we go back and watch it.
Gin or tequila?
I just woke up.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. But it does deserve to be here for what it did, though.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah,
certainly top 10.
it put the MCU on the map.
I'd give it top 10. Favorite Avengers movie.
Oh no.
Bite me.
Let's not even do it. Let's not even do it. Chester, let's not fall for it. Let's just move on. Let's just move on.
This is
There we go. There you go. That's right.
I can go with this.
You're damn right.
This is fair.
You're damn right. Infinity War is the best Avengers movie. It's the second best superhero movie ever made. You're damn right.
It's not nearly as unsufferably quirky as Avengers or Endgame, for that matter.
Oh no,
Not at all.
Endgame
Actually, it
sucks
takes
balls,
itself
dude.
seriously. Infinity War takes itself deadly seriously. There's very little.
Exactly. That's
quibs
why I
and
like it.
jokes.
I don't know why Endgame was so goofy. Is it because Chris Hemsworth thinks he's funny now because of fucking Ragnarok?
Probably.
I don't-
But the reason Endgame sucked is very, very simple. The people in charge didn't know what to do with Phase 4. They had some scattering of characters they think they wanted to do something with, and they decided, well, the only way we can make those characters who are far less interesting, powerful for our next Phase 4 is to downgrade and tear down all of our current characters, and that's what they did. And who wants to watch that shit? No one wants to watch that. But it's number 2. But this is definitely fine. I have no problem with this in number 1. What do you think, Eric?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Or one's a good slot for it. Definitely in my top 10, maybe even 1.
And Joe is promoting the Laugh Olympics as being most important. I would agree. Laugh Olympics was great. Yeah, Cap's uniform had problems. It's true. But this list has got a few on there I wouldn't put on. Overall, I think it's accurate. And we all have our personal favorites and guilty pleasures. Mine is the original Captain America. That's my favorite. But to each his own, right?
The original
And to make
Captain
the top
America
10.
holds. Nope. No, a lot of people don't like it. I don't know why. They say it's
Right.
boring or whatever. But I think it holds. I think it's one of the only ones from the first era that hold in the first Iron Man movie. Even the first Thor movie, really, actually, isn't terrible to rewatch.
I hate it.
It's just not a good movie.
I hate it. Yeah. I hate it.
Yeah, I'm gonna ruin it for you. Rewatch it and notice how many Dutch angles are in it. You're gonna
Oh,
feel
no.
like you're tilting side to side when you're watching it.
In what?
Yeah.
Captain America.
The first the first Thor movie.
Oh, the 4 movies.
It's
suck,
almost-
dude. They all suck.
It's almost all Dutch angles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Infinity
Damn
War
Dutch.
is legitimately
Stupid Dutch.
everything every comic book fan ever wanted. I mean, they could have went further, I guess, and had even more special effects, but it didn't need it. There probably never will be a comic book movie that's more of a comic book movie than that one right there. That killed it. It was, in my opinion, as far as just for not as a movie on its own, but as a comic book movie, it's a 10 out of 10. You're not going to get better than that.
Yeah. Well, the thing is,
Kick-Ass.
out of all those, Kick-Ass, the first one was fine. Out of all those movies, I have not seen Captain Marvel and I haven't seen Black Widow. But all the rest of the movies I have seen, and they're all watchable. The most boring one was Black Panther, and I still
Black
would
Widow
say that's
sucks.
a 5. Huh?
Saw Black Widow. It sucks.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
You're going to get a lot more of that.
The
A lot more stuff.
The worst one for me, I hated Thor: The Dark World with like a fucking vengeance.
Yeah,
Thor: The
I
Dark
don't know
World
what it
movie.
was about
Yeah.
Thor: The Dark World, but I really hated it for some fucking reason. Same with Age of Ultron. I hated it.
I see. Yeah, I
Made
get
me
that.
angry.
Yeah, Michael over here in the chat, he's absolutely correct, and I wish they would have done it. He says they missed a golden opportunity to make a serious superhero movie addressing Tony Stark's alcoholism with an actor with life experiences. with addiction,
Yes.
and someone who should be fired, and
Yeah.
someone should be fired for that. Yeah, no, they should. Instead, they ham-fisted it in Iron Man 3, and it didn't make any damn sense.
Yeah, Devil in the Bottle, baby. That was a really good run. It's one of the best Iron Man.
Just
That
did
and
an
Extremis.
Iron Man 3, he went, I have anxiety issues because I went through a portal.
Yeah, I know. It was
Isn't
ridiculous.
anxiety related?
I'm gonna have my girlfriend save the day. The
Yeah,
fuck
it was
out of here,
ridiculous.
man.
But no,
Oh, I hated Iron Man 3 so fucking much, right? Because there's a scene where Pepper Potts is supposed to fucking die, and it's all like emotional. It's all, oh no, Pepper Potts is dead, and then he's like, oh, I'm hyped up, I'm ready, I'm getting my suit summoned, and then the suit goes, oh, trips up. It's like, do you want a goofy moment or a serious sad moment?
right.
Pick one. You don't get to flick between the two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
That's Ragnarok right there. The whole movie.
Yeah, the
or
whole movie,
Ragnarok.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you
pick
know,
a tone.
you know.
Ragnarok is trash.
Hey, we got a Grimlock in here. Everybody come in on this conversation. All right. Yeah, keep in mind this is just ratings. Thunder Arrow's point is valid. Whatever.
Was number 2? Did I miss number 2?
We
No,
skipped it.
no, we don't talk
No,
about number 2,
We
Eric.
don't talk- we're
Oh,
not
okay.
talking about
We don't talk about that. That didn't happen. That's all
You
it
know
is.
what?
Right.
Panther?
It suits
Black
being number
Panther was
2,
not
if
in
you
the
know what
top
I'm
10?
saying.
No, Black Panther was not on this list, which is fitting
Oh.
because it shouldn't be.
Yeah, it wasn't very good.
They should swap. They should swap Guardians for the movie that shall not be named.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
the thing is, I remember when Endgame came out, and I came in, and I was the first one blasting that shit. And over time, everyone has kind of floated over to my side. I feel validated.
It was one of those movies. It was kind of like Spider-Man 3. I wanted to like it so much, and every time I thought more about it, I hated it more. And Booster was here for it. It slowly set in. It went from
And he
It's
was
all
going,
right, I
wait
guess.
a minute. That
Wait a
makes
minute.
sense."
yeah, and then
It-
it just
it reminds me of
slowly
the-
set in.
Yeah.
Reminds me of a certain show we watched yesterday, Fundara.
Oh.
Yeah.
What'd you guys watch?
Yeah.
I don't know, you guys talking about it today?
Well, go ahead.
we haven't yet.
We watched the new He-Man cartoon, or
Oh, yeah.
Tila cartoon, rather, because
Yeah,
everything that everyone said about it was correct.
Yeah.
It is objectively worse than Endgame, Chester. It's worse
I
Wow.
than Endgame.
I owe some people a few apologies. I owe an apology to Cosmic Book News for saying, well, they still suck, but but they were correct about the toy thing, right? It did predict what Skeletor would do.
Yep.
And
What did he
Now,
do?
mostly you need to
The,
apologize to Chester, right?
no.
See,
what did
here's what
Skeletor
happened.
do?
I was playing Masters of the Universe. Now I was playing a video game. I'm just chilling here playing my video game. And Booster says, "Hey, so we might be able to watch that show, Masters of the Universe." I was like, "All right, let's watch it."
I pirated the
Literally-
shit out of it, by the way. Fuck you, Kevin Smith.
Yeah, literally right at the end. By the end of the first episode, we had both agreed, well, this was a mistake. But we watched it all because we're like, you know what?
Yep.
We're going to finish what we started.
You know what?
It didn't
wasn't
get
that
better
long.
The first episode was great
until the end.
until the end.
Yeah.
Right. So everything we know, that trailer, right? The first trailer with the song "I Need a Hero," right?
Mhm.
Great fucking trailer, by the way. That is 90% the first episode. I rewatched that trailer recently. Everything that happens in that trailer is the first fucking episode.
Mhm.
Right? And what happens on the first episode is Skeletor tricks He-Man into stabbing a certain thing with the Master Sword, right?
What does he stab?
So he's about
Spoilers.
I don't know the
The
there's
thing
no
they
big
made up-
Eternia that's Super Eternia.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Kind of orb
I
that
don't know.
provides Eternity with all their magic. Or,
Oh, okay.
It is an orb that has the concentrated magic of the entire universe within it. That is what's under Castle Grayskull.
Oh,
Which isn't even a castle, it's an illusion, and it's not even doesn't even look like that. It looks like some elf building, basically.
yeah,
and-
I'd say that, yeah.
And okay, fine, okay, all of that's fine. I
So,
think it's
He
silly, but all of
splits
that's
the
fine.
sword, you know,
Yeah.
and he's like, oh, power, and then Skeletor and He-Man disappear, and then the universe is saved. But, you know, saving the universe ain't enough for a bitch, because Tila decides that, oh, you lied to me, because you didn't tell me you were He-Man, so she gives up being Man-at-Arms. Oh, I forgot to mention, the first the absolute first 3 minutes of the show is a ceremony for Tila, where three separate people go up to Tila and tell her how fucking great she is during his
validation.
ceremony. Just, oh my lord,
First 3
validation
minutes.
city, sir.
First 3 minutes is, aside from a few scenes where we see some stuff going on with the sorceress, it is all Tila's great. Tila's amazing. Tila, and it's like, holy crap, dude! Nothing even has happened yet, but we have to tell Tila how amazing she is for 3 minutes. It's unbelievable.
There is an episode where it's supposed to be about Tila facing her fears, and they're telling her how great she is! Her illusions, her shadows, and fears and everything is going on about how fucking awesome she is!
Jesus Christ, dude.
And then her fear turns out her fears is that she's afraid that she's too awesome!
Chester, luckily it's short, so if you ever feel like being angry, sit down for an hour and a half, whatever it is, watch that. But it's really bad. It's one of the worst things I've ever watched in my life. Maybe the worst thing. Like, not even just like from I'm a big fan. I'm not really even a big fan of He-Man. I don't really care about He-Man, to be honest. It's bad.
I didn't go in to be like, oh, I'm gonna own this JWs and watch this piece of shit. I wanted to like it!
Yeah.
So badly! Because I like the shit. I like the animation, the color choices, the way it looks. It's so nice, the way it presents itself. But everything else is a shit show.
Yeah.
Well, Thundero, I don't think I'll be getting on that anytime soon. You see, I schedule all my time, and I don't recall that I have any slot for Make Myself Angry. No. So, no.
Yeah.
I do.
No,
I
in all honesty, I recommend no one watch it. Don't even pirate it. Just pretend it doesn't exist otherwise, because it's not worth your attention. And people are like, well, they made it shit to get outrage marketing. No, what? That's ridiculous. They made it shit because they suck. Kevin Smith's a hack. He hasn't done anything good.
Well, he shouldn't have lied. He shouldn't have lied.
And then he
lied. Thing about
Kevin
Smith. Kevin Smith has never liked Masters of the and you can go back and watch videos and interviews with him. He has always hated it.
Yeah, well,
why he did this, no one knows.
Yeah, well, that's my biggest problem. Of course they did this. I'm not shocked at all. My problem is, what the hell is Kevin Smith lying for? It doesn't make any sense, dude. You're just shooting yourself in the face, man. What are you doing? However,
he keeps making it worse, too.
Yeah,
I'll read this headline real quick. Masters of the Universe Revelation. Media reviews confirm series sidelines He-Man. Grace Randolph asserts series has no strong male leads or support characters. I wouldn't say that. I think Man-at-Arms, he's okay. But I would
like kick some ass.
Yeah,
he's not in there that often, but his robot.
But he's not in it very often. Yeah. But no, I don't know how anybody could have watched that and enjoyed it. It's bad. It's poor in every aspect of storytelling. It's all the problems with current TV and film and whatever, especially about female characters. All they do, the whole show is about a validation for Tila's anger, which is completely unreasonable considering the fact that the man just gave his life to save you, you utter cunt.
And the universe.
And the nugget of everybody you love in the whole universe.
By the way, there's footage of Kevin Smith bragging that he gets to kill He-Man twice. Did we mention he dies twice, Chester? First episode and the 5th.
Yeah.
He comes back just to immediately be killed off again by Skeletor.
Wow. Yeah, dickhead. He's a dick. But he could have escaped all of this by simply just calling it Masters of the Universe: The Legacy of Tila, and done, right? You would have had noise, but it wouldn't have been nothing. But he had to go and lie. And of course, what you're telling me shows me that it's once again intentional. You have to get the man. You have to destroy the man. You have to build the woman up, because women can't be powerful and cool on their own. Everybody else has to tell them that, right? And of course, it's nonsense. But that's the script. Everyone's on that damn script. Of course, and I'm not going to waste my time with it. I wasn't intending on wasting my time with it.
And the most infuriating part of this all is that Tila actually had a good story to tell.
I bet.
And that wasn't good enough for them. Her eventually becoming the new sorceress was not good enough for them. It had to be her becoming He-Man, which we've seen time and time again. It's not good enough to have a strong woman character anywhere but in the front, where they're basically taking the role of a man.
That's right. Yeah. No,
It's
that's
basically like
literally does.
watching. It's like watching Animal Farm on loop.
yeah. And
She literally does.
I forgot that Grimlock was here.
She literally does take the role of a man. She becomes the man at arms within the first 3 minutes of the show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
literally
yeah,
Takes it.
and
It's pathetic. All the backlash that it's gotten, it deserves every bit of it. But I'm going to tell everybody right now, don't even give it that. Laugh at it, mock it, call Kevin Smith a fat retard, and move on with your lives because it's
Hey.
not worth your rage. It's that bad. It's so pathetic and terrible and disgraceful to not even He-Man, to cinema and film and television. To 80s animated cartoons, which were mostly shit anyway. It's a disgrace to them as a group. So just let them, just let it go. Doesn't even exist. Pretend it never even happened.
okay. I'm doing a drum roll. You guys can't hear it, but I'm doing it. Go ahead, Eric.
These cartoons were great, and I didn't mind the He-Man. It was just as cheesy as the original one. Didn't care for them killing off He-Man right away, and it was a Teela story all the way, but it wasn't bad.
Oh
it
my
was
god.
cheesy. It was cheesy,
Oh
just
my
like
God.
the original cartoon. There is no difference
No.
in the original
Oh my
cartoon
God.
other than Teela being a little muscular. But to just cry about it because you want to hate something, then you guys go for it because that's what you're doing. You don't want to like it.
So Teela's an insufferable,
It's what's
ungrateful.
popular to do.
My
so
drum
let's
roll
just
has
do
turned
it.
into taps, by the way, just so you know.
So is Teela an insufferable, ungrateful cunt in the original? Because I've watched some He-Man. I don't remember her being that way. I don't
Was
remember
Teela a
her
lesbian?
yelling
Was Teela
and
a lesbian like
screaming at
everybody
people?
said she was.
Is she?
I don't know. She
I
could
don't
You
have
know.
can
been.
see she has
we
the
brought
hots
that
for
up.
He-Man the whole time.
If you
That
if
is
you
not
take,
something I care about.
yeah, nobody
Yeah, in
ever
the
said anything
original
about that.
sense.
Everybody was complaining about that. All you guys were complaining about that.
Everybody.
Up to
I
the time
wasn't
this
saying that.
released this week.
Alan,
Everybody was. They made her look like
Never
a lesbian.
once.
She's going to be a lesbian in the show. Everybody said that.
yeah, well,
Yeah, because
here's the thing, though,
because it
Eric.
happens every time. It's a
Yeah.
it's a pattern. I mean, even
Here's-
if you thought it was good, you can't deny that they do this in every fucking reboot.
Yeah.
Every reboot has the woman, and they have the same haircut. They all look like men, whether it's live action or animation. She literally looks like they traced the chick from Terminator: Dark Fate and just put some new armor on her. It's the same archetype.
I'm not saying she didn't look buff and look like a lesbian, but she obviously had the hots for He-Man and through the entire 5 episodes.
Irrelevant.
They were barely 20 minutes long, if that. It's
However,
horrible to watch.
And
They-
It is
guess
horrible
what?
to
Guess
watch.
what? Harley Quinn had Stockholm syndrome for the Joker for 20 years, but she eats pussy now.
Yep.
Because of Twitter.
yeah, because
So for 5 episodes, it means
That
absolutely
has what to
nothing.
do about the Masters of the Universe. Eric.
well, if I
What
could
is
get
what
it
is the
in
lesbian
a word
thing
in
have to do with anything we
edgewise,
just
They
said?
changed it because it's always been changed.
well, no,
All right, Chester, go.
Now,
It's-
here's the thing. They have hinted at that, and they said that it was subtle. They themselves said it, right? This is the news that have come out. So in the next 5 episodes, well, I think we're going to see a growth of it. But I saw this new. Alan's come in with some news, and I saw this myself. The rumor is that Teela's girlfriend, the big bulky one, is going to be the new He-Man.
What?
Adam's not going to be He-Man anymore. It's going to be the woman.
Adam does get stabbed in the abdomen at the end, and Turner becomes the master of the universe.
I heard that rumor too.
She wasn't that bulky though, was she? I thought she was in Teela.
No, Andra
Oh,
is no,
shit.
and she's a race swap of yet another redhead. So
Yep.
again,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
every checkbox you can go down this list. You can pretty much go down every one on the list. From the I was a fan of the original series bullshit to the we now have strong female representation that are obviously lesbians, and if they're not lesbians at the beginning, by the end of the series, they definitely will be smashing clam. It's right there. I didn't waste time because I got a year's heads up in advance thanks to Clownfish. Everything that all the information that they got from that showrunner, everything has happened exactly the way they said, and it only makes Kevin Smith look like a bigger asshole for the way he's been trying to fight it, which makes me wonder who's a bigger sellout of the two guys who used to say fuck the mainstream. I'm trying to wonder who's become the biggest ass kisser between him and Howard Stern.
Oh, Howard Stern
What?
turned too?
Wow.
Damn, dude.
Oh, yeah, hard.
Howard
Trump
Stern,
broke
Howard
him.
Stern went from Fart Man to SJW Man in a matter of 10 years.
Oh wow.
Yep.
And,
Now,
it started the moment he fired Baba Booey and put a woman in his place.
oh wow.
Kevin, he should just not have lied in the first
He
place.
shouldn't have lied.
He knew
No,
what it was
he
about.
lied-
He had no
lied
reason to
across the
lie.
board. But they do. But Eric, this is the thing. Like we said, they do it in every fucking reboot now. Haven't you noticed this shit? They
Some
trot out
stuff,
a guy.
yes, but they're not going to
Trot out
kill
a guy.
He-Man
Oh,
off.
I was a fan of
Because
the
he's
original
too much-
series.
Too much of a moneymaker for Mattel. Just relaunched all the toys again. They just relaunched a new line just for this, with He-Man being the most
because the
produced
lesbian
character.
Shield series didn't sell.
Oh, no one wanted that.
Here's what'll
Nobody
happen.
wanted
No,
that.
they'll
The
kill him off.
WWE
They'll just
toys
send him to
wasn't
heaven.
Selling. The
They'll just send him to
WWE
heaven.
toys wasn't selling. They was losing DC. They had to go back to what worked. Mattel was in trouble. So what did they do? Well, He-Man's always worked.
Well, I'm not going to watch it personally, and because Eric,
go to
because
it.
I probably would have more in your opinion, and be like, yeah. So that's why I won't subject myself to peer pressure, sir. I won't do it.
I wouldn't do it.
You're missing nothing, Chester. To be honest, I know you've never watched the original, and it's not an overarching story, but I recently watched the entire original run of Masters of the Universe. It's actually better than I thought it was, especially once they got Dini and Straczynski writing. Or just watch the 2000 series. That's probably the best of the three. Well, it's definitely the best of the three.
If you guys want me to go off on something, you can talk Snake Eyes. I'm pissed about that movie.
Too.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to cover that tomorrow. I'm going to cover that in the comic book
wouldn't
tomorrow.
waste a second out of my life watching that. The moment I saw the trailer and I saw it was race swapped, I said, "No, I'm out." And fuck,
I'm the
fuck
same way,
Larry
man.
Hama for backtracking after 30
Larry
years.
Hama can't remember what he had for breakfast. This is bad.
Another spineless male. I can't call you a man, but since you identify as a male, I'll give you that much, Larry. You spineless twat.
Yeah, no, these are all very, very good points, but we got one more story to do. We're going to wrap it up because I do need to kind of get going. But this is the last one for today. Go ahead.
Booster, read it.
Booster, that's right. Booster's here.
Oh, is Booster? I feel like I'm on the bottom of the food chain. That's why I have to read it when I'm here.
That's right.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Letita Wright, allegedly recast in Black Panther 2.
That would be
As
pronounced
old
Letitia,
anti-vax-
just so you know.
That's not how names are pronounced. As old anti-vax tweets resurface online. Oh my god, is that really what they're gonna do to the poor woman?
Well,
Yeah.
she
Not
was
And,
like
not
anti-
right.
and
but-
transphobia tweets too.
Yeah,
Like-
she made some noise. However, this girl who played Shuri is not attractive, but damn, dude, are you kidding me?
Yep. But
Jesus Christ, dude.
It's amazing how quickly they turned on her the moment she asked a rational question. Because
No
she made
questioning
one
allowed.
post about the vaccine. Now all of a sudden, off with the bitch's head.
Yeah, you can't do that. Yeah, they eat their own very quickly. But this man, now
Oh,
you
God,
guys
that's ugly.
know. You guys know. I don't find black ladies particularly attractive. That's just my taste. That's fair enough. But someone help me out here because I'm not the person to judge this. Is that not like one of the ugliest women you ever seen in your
Yes.
life?
She's a hideous woman.
Sure, it's a woman.
Me neither.
No, because Leslie Jones is still allowed to roam the earth.
Yeah, well, that's.
so automatically
I mean,
no.
Okay.
She looks
and
like
Paris
King
Hilton's
Kong's
still
sister.
alive, so she's definitely one of the ugliest women I've ever seen.
When I was at the store today with the wife, there was this black lady there, black girl, probably in her mid-20s, absolutely beautiful. Beautiful, had a nice, curvy body, like a nice thin black woman with, all the right features. Gorgeous, way hotter than this person.
Yeah.
And the fact that they keep promoting obviously unattractive women, especially the black men seem to get by, but the black women, they keep putting ones who just have these, hideous features in their faces. Either they're like her, look how big her mouth is. What the hell?
Yeah.
Just these hideous women is what black women get for their representation, by and large. and I'm personally tired of it. One, because I don't like to look at ugly women, and two, because it's just insulting when the black men, a lot of them are studs. They're in good shape. They got perfect chiseled features. They're
dudes, yeah.
Good-looking dudes. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, that's true. That is a true statement. I brought this up because more of this. I really didn't like that girl. She was so damn annoying. But the fact that they always have to go uglier these days. Although I'm not the best judge, I'm just when it comes to this particular topic, I'm not the person to ask. But it seems like they're really ugging stuff up everywhere, everywhere.
Yep.
She might be a good actress. She might be able to do the job. That's not
I don't know
the
who
point.
she is.
She might be good at what she does. She could be, right?
I hate the short haircut. There's only a very small amount of women that cut works for
That's
it,
true.
and they can be attractive.
Yeah.
The short bob haircuts, the really short haircuts, it only works on girls who have the very elven faces, very narrow jaws,
thin necks, very thin
necks. It works.
This girl
on them.
does not.
No, I think the best short hair girl I ever saw, as far as sexiness was, what was her name? She was in the True Lies movie. She was in Halloween.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah, she rocked the hell out of the short hair, dude. I mean, come on. Jamie Lee Curtis she could pull it off, but most women can't pull that bob off. They can't. But they don't do it for us. They do it for themselves. So fair enough. I don't care. I don't know who she is. I wasn't going to watch the Wakanda Forever anyway, because the first movie was not good. It did not entertain me. It had a couple of things in there that were interesting, but they didn't play it out right. I just wasn't a big fan. However, it's watchable though. You can watch that movie. For damn sure.
It has a lot of the same problem a lot of the MCU movies have. It has parts of it that are really cool, and then the rest of it is just either meh or shit. So this movie, I'd say the first, maybe 2/3 is pretty good. It's actually not bad. Until you get to the part where Killmonger does mustache twirly evil things because
he's evil.
That don't even make sense for the character they established beforehand. And I'm like, what? Okay, well and then it just goes off the rails, and even like the special effects go off the rails. It's like they ran out of money, and they just threw whatever they had left out there on the screen, and that was what we got. Like the part where they're fighting at the end and the light rail thing, that looks terrible. It looked terrible when it came out.
Looks cartoony.
Yeah. It wasn't good, but the CG wasn't good in that. They clearly didn't spend the money. However, one of the irritating things from that movie that I couldn't stand was the fact that they put that actor, that white actor, a British guy in there, only so they could have some white person to pick on and beat on. Right? The only reason he's in the movie, and they picked a little teeny guy intentionally. They wanted him to be weak and small looking so they could beat on the white guy. And of course, it's Shuri, the one who brings up the colonizer nonsense, which is ridiculous because you realize how many colonizer tribes there were in Africa. I mean, come on, dude. Really? I mean, let's not even get into the Zulu, shall we? Okay. It really, those things piss me off. But like whatever. I'm not going to watch it anyway, so they can do whatever the hell they want. Because this movie's going to be ultra woke, dude. This is going to be BLM on steroids. I guarantee it. Guarantee it.
And I have a very strong suspicion the thing that they should have done and should do with Wakanda Forever, with the Black Panther franchise, is bring back Killmonger somehow and let him just be Black Panther, because it would make way too much sense. But we're not going to get that, are we? We're going to get Chick Black Panther or some other checkbox Black Panther.
Yeah, we are.
Just recast T'Challa. I understand Boseman dying was tragic.
Yep.
Just recast damn role. He played it three times? I mean, this is not Sean Connery as James Bond, and eventually Connery got replaced too.
Yeah.
I mean, come the fuck on.
I agree.
Look,
recast it.
There's a fucking 1,000 young black actors. This would fucking make them. This would be the opportunity of a lifetime.
Be good ones too, dude. Good ones.
Yes.
I've seen some great black actors coming up recently.
That you could easily put into that role. You could easily put in that role for the next 20 years. This is not rocket science.
I don't know what his name is, but the guy from American Gods,
Oh
the
yeah.
lead of that Shadow,
Maybe.
whatever. I don't know his real name, but I know it's Shadow Moon in the show. He would be a great Black Panther. He's just got this perfect physiognomy. How you say that word? He's got that, and he's got great screen presence. He's not the best actor.
No. Get an actual Ugandan actor. You go for someone from Who Killed Captain Ellis.
Someone who goes.
No, yeah, and they're all like, everybody in Uganda knows kung fu.
I would be fine with that too. Just recast the role. This is not that difficult.
No, I agree with you 100%. And there are some really good young actors that could do the role, for sure. The problem is most of those those good young actors I've seen in the past couple of years, they're very small. They're because most Africans are actually very small. I understand we in America, because of where the slaves were taken from and the migrations as well, that we see black people as being big. That's not actually normal.
Grab
Most
a dude
Africans
from
are
the
very
Dinka
teeny.
tribe. They're all 7 feet. Grab one of them.
Well, fair enough. But I'm just saying that most of Africans are black Africans are actually very teeny. And a lot
But
of
I
the
mean,
ones I've seen are
Panther-
very small, unfortunately.
But in the comic, Panther wasn't like a hulking dude.
No,
Like
but I think they're a bit teeny. But
I think that his name is Ricky Whittle. That's the guy from American Gods. I think he would make a good Black Panther.
Whittle.
yeah, no, he was all right. He was all right. That's true. Let's do this story real quick, and then I do need
This
to
one I'm going to read, Booster, because I'm excited for it. This is great news. Tracy Torme confirms Sliders reboot happening, and it won't be woke. I will wait to see the last part, but I loved Sliders. I hated it when it got canceled. It was fantastic. It's a great premise for an episodic show with a monster of a week type environment. I love it. I hope that they do well. I don't know. Now they say it's a reboot. Is it a reboot or a remake? Because those are not synonyms.
No, that's true. I don't know. I never watched Sliders. I had the impression it was something like Quantum Leap, which is another thing I never watched.
It's similar.
What's Quantum Leap?
No.
Chester, you got to watch Quantum Leap, at least for the memes. You just
at least for that the one scene. I'm gonna put it up.
Well, you see, it came through an error that I was a musician and working. I didn't watch TV. I didn't watch much movies either. I was busy. I didn't really watch TV during that
I was
decade.
too busy. I was kind of way too busy just getting things done, you know?
Yeah.
I'm kind of better than you.
Is that what it is? Well,
but regardless, Sliders
kind of
was
more fucking important as an individual.
Sliders was an awesome show. It really was. Now, the first 3 seasons were really good. The last season was it went off the rails. But it had John Rhys-Davies in it. It had Jerry O'Connell, whatever his last name is, in it. And they were great together. They had a great mentor relationship. The premise is really cool, where basically they're jumping between dimensions, and they have a little device like Rick has from Rick and Morty, where they press a button and open a portal. And different shenanigans would happen in different dimensions. Like one of the dimensions they went to, the guy was driving, but he didn't know that in this dimension the lights go the other way. So red means go and green means stop. And he gets into a car accident. Stuff like that. And it was a really cool idea. I hope they do it well, because we could really use just a good sci-fi show right now. Just a simple, basic premise, and they just play around with it for a while. That's all we need. We don't need it to get too deep. We don't need super dramatic. We don't need soap opera. We don't need any of that. Just some fun, escapist sci-fi like we had 20 years ago until about 2008. We had that nice long run, and even through the 90s with Star Trek. But even after that, you had Babylon, and you had Stargate, and you had all these shows that were just really good, and just that you could just sit down and watch them, and they weren't like a commitment, right? That's the problem with TV today. Well, it's become a commitment.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because it's all serialized.
These the two older actors here I know and I like. Discount Supernatural over there on the right, I have no clue who he is. However, the little girl in the middle, I'll take her for a few months. Maybe I'll return her. She's smoking hot, dude. That is my type. 100%.
That is smack. All right. Yep.
That explains a
what I
lot.
like.
That explains a
That's
lot.
what I
It's a
like.
whole lot.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah.
don't think that girl's super cute? I mean, come on, dude.
She's cute. Yeah, I wouldn't say she's
cute.
smoking hot.
Well, no, fair enough. I'll take that back. She's super cute. I'll give you that. I give you
About
that.
6 beers.
Once
No,
I don't remember her name.
screw
There was
you,
another
dude.
opinions
chick
on
on that
women
show.
are invalid.
Just have a clip for you.
You guys
There
never
was
liked
another
my
chick on
opinion.
that show who I
she's
can't remember.
Cute, man. I like her.
I can't remember her name, but she was in a lot of stuff at the time, and she was smoking hot, like genuinely smoking hot.
Which
I can't
show?
remember her name. In Sliders, not that one, a different one, a different lady.
Yeah. I remember a commercial, and they're literally sliding on light with very bad CG.
Well, it was late '90s, early 2000s.
But it's all right.
I have a clip for you, Chester.
Yo, you. Oh, I'm sorry. I should come over and share you. That's what you're saying. I should
Yes.
share you. All right. Here we go. Go ahead, Booster.
This is Quantum Leap, by
Okay.
the way.
I'm retarded?
Yes, you are retarded.
That music is so inappropriate.
Late 80s. I love it.
Play it again. Play it again. Play it again.
Oh, you want it again?
Yeah. It's funny.
Oh, well, now I have to bring it back up again.
Well, I know
Oh,
this
yeah.
is sacrilege, and you guys go to tear me up for it, but he's my favorite captain, by the way.
Really?
That is sacrilege, and you should be tore up for that.
Thank
No, he was fine actually. He was one
I
of the
don't
best parts of
know.
that show.
I loved him.
I think he's a great actor. So,
He is, and he was very respectful to the fact that he was a
Retarded?
captain in Star Trek.
What's going on, man? I'm retarded.
Oh,
God, I am retarded.
boy.
Poor Bullwinkle.
See, here's the problem, though, right? So nowadays, you definitely couldn't do that because there'd be so many people offended. But that kid with Down syndrome just got work. He got paid to do that.
Yeah.
What's the problem here? And the whole point of that story was to not disparage people with Down syndrome, basically.
I'm
So-
sure it was. Yeah.
It's just Quantum Leap was a good show, Chester. You should go check it out. You could probably find it anywhere.
I don't trust people with Down syndrome.
Well, it just fair enough. It just came
Oh, dude,
during
they
a
know
time where I was
karate
being better
where
than
I live,
everybody.
alright?
So.
The fucking Downies where I live, no fucking taekwondo and shit.
don't trust
They tried to
Did
karate
you
kick
just
me
call them
once.
the
It was
Downies?
terrifying. I'm telling you, there was a time in my life where I was playing basketball against the Downey. I scored a goal against him. He screamed, "Fuck you," and limped towards me with a karate kick. Okay, I've been traumatized ever since. This is a true story.
Be riding a shark, Booster.
No.
Oh, no, that would explain a lot about
That
Booster,
would
though.
explain a lot, wouldn't it? Yeah. He wears a diaper the whole episode. Damn, dude. He plays he goes into a chimp. Yeah, well, the premise of the show is very useful for storytelling, isn't it?
And Sliders is basically a take on that in a way, because they as a group jump to another world, and often there's shenanigans. Like there's one where John Rhys Davies his version from that world is running for president, so he has to take over for him. Stuff like that, and it's the premise is really strong. I think it could be a really just a fun sci-fi show. Well, that's what it was. It doesn't have to be great television. Like thanks to like Game of Thrones and frickin' Breaking Bad.
Oh,
Everybody wants their shows to be great TV. It has to be great. It has to be heavy and dramatic and blah blah blah. Win all these awards. I just want some fun, man. Can I just have a fun sci-fi show, please? That's just goofy and a little, doesn't take itself too seriously, please.
Look what
I don't
Doctor
need
Who
every
did
show to be
started.
Breaking Bad.
Damn, Doctor Who brought all this shit on us, man. Oh well. All right, guys. Well, there it is. So a couple of you in the chat are excited about the Sliders too. Maybe I should go check an episode out, or just wait for the reboot. Maybe. Although, like I said, the two older actors in the front, I like both of them. I do. The Reese Davies, I think, is the one on the right.
Yes.
He's definitely been in really good movies. The black dude on the left, I can't remember his name, but he's a character actor. I've seen him in
Yeah.
other things. He's a pretty good.
He was
actor,
all over
actually.
the 90s.
Yeah,
he
he's
was
a
all
good
over
actor
the 90s.
actually.
McConnell's a good actor. I don't know why he doesn't get more work. Maybe he's insufferable to work with or something. I don't know, but I've never had a problem with him as an actor. I think he's fine.
You mean Davies?
No, Jerry McConnell.
Who's Jeremy
Kid
McConnell?
behind him.
The guy in the
Guy
back. He's the
behind
lead
him.
of the show.
Discount Supernatural?
Yes. This was
The
long
fat
before
kid.
Supernatural. Thank you.
Fat kid from Stand By Me.
Oh no way! Really?
He's the fat kid from Stand By Me.
He's the grown-up version. Wow, dude, that's interesting.
Yeah, he got himself in really good shape. And he's
Learned
married to
cards are
somebody,
bad.
too. Somebody's hot. Who was it?
That little
who
girl
played
right there is
Mystique?
cute as
Who
hell.
played Mystique in the first X-Men movie?
He
was-
played Mystique in the first. What?
His wife. His wife.
Oh, that one. Yeah, she's a hottie. She was a better Mystique than Lawrence anyway.
Yeah, Rebecca Romaine.
Yeah, she was definitely better. Anyway, guys, I definitely got to run. I got a busy day. I got to get to it because, as Booster has let you know, I am better than all of you. Thank you, Booster.
Yeah.
For acknowledging.
We
the
know.
truth.
We know.
Oh, yeah,
You know, I want to say one thing before we go. Thank you guys for turning me into Todd for the episodes. It was great. Miss Todd, so we needed a Todd.
I
so
hope you
it
get
was
AIDS,
nice to-
Chester.
I
it
don't
was nice
miss
to play
that,
that role.
And Eric, if
you,
you ever
thank you.
imply that I'm only disliking it just to rail on something, I'll cut your toes off. Okay? I'll let you to know I fucking went in there wanting to like it.
He did. He genuinely did. I watched the whole thing with him. He kept saying, I want to like the show. I want to like the show. By episode 3, there was some pun that was done or some
It
nonsense.
was the
And he stopped the show for 2 minutes. He's like, "Fuck
fishy.
this." Yes.
Oh my god, after Merman goes, the black chick is like, he seemed fishy. What? We were all thinking it. I paused it. I started slamming the disc, and I almost alt-F4'd the fucking thing.
What?
I was so angry. The puns in that show suck.
They're bad puns. Real bad.
Okay.
Fair enough. All right, guys. Well, there it is. So we're gonna check you out tomorrow. We do have some things to talk about. We are going to talk about that Snake Eyes thing tomorrow because that blew up, shocking. We'll get into that, and there's some other comic book news that I didn't cover today, and we'll do that tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Other than that, anybody got any closing statements here?
Nothing.
Nothing. All right, guys.
When I twist my nipples, it hurts.
Well, and then some people like that, Booster. You know,
Mhm.
Thunder, you got to deal with his education a little bit better, please.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
All right, guys. Later.
Bye.
Okay, bye. Love you. Mwah.